Hi everybody, Dr. Pingle here. We are going to set up the analysis in GIS environment for use in this class. That's going to be really useful and important because that's going to have some extra geospatial packages that we need to do the work. So essentially this assumes that you've already installed Anaconda, and so if you find Anaconda in your list here, we can open up a command prompt like so. And then what we're going to do is just follow these instructions kind of one at a time, so we can copy this and paste it in there. What this is going to do is it's going to contact a little text file here, and I'll show you what that looks like. And that's going to contain a list of sort of a lot of the different packages that you're going to need. Most of these are sort of default Python packages, but things like Fiona, things like GeoPandas, these are going to be things that you're going to need. So this is a very specific list of some very particular files that we'll want to use. So we can copy, and I'm going to right-click in here and paste. So it's going to go contact that file, figure out which packages it needs. It's going to download all of those packages and install them. So I'm going to pause for a second while it goes through that. There's going to be, lots of these. So we'll give it a minute to finish its work and then come back. Okay, that's done. You may get a couple of error messages down here, but that's usually nothing to worry about. If we open this back up again, the next instruction here is to activate that environment. So what we've done is we've created an environment. Environments are used to sort of build sets of compatible Python packages that you can use on various projects. And so that's what we've done here. Right now we're in the base environment, and it's good practice to avoid making changes to that base environment. So we don't install things to that. What we do is we create an environment and we use those. So we've created our environment, now we want to use it. So we're going to paste Conda activate analysis in GIS, and you're going to see that change from base to analysis in GIS, and that means that we're now using that environment and not the base environment. We're sort of in this little firewalled section. But in that section are additional pieces that we can use to do our work. The last thing that we want to do here is install Notebook as PDF. So I'm going to paste that in there. You'll notice that this is using a slightly different mechanism. So it's using an installer called pip rather than a Conda installer. You might get a couple of error messages here. That's nothing to be too concerned about. What this package lets us do is it's going to let us export our notebooks that we write as PDFs for submission. And actually PDF notebooks are a good way to archive sort of past versions of things as well. So this is very handy. If we exit out of this and we want to use that environment again now, we don't have to go through that whole install. All we're going to need to do is open up that command prompt. We're still going to want to go cd to the directory that we want to run from. So cd into that directory, and then we're going to activate analysis in GIS. And now we're here. And now when we run a Jupyter Notebook, it's going to look like this. To create a Jupyter Notebook, you go to New and Python 3. You can actually use Jupyter to run all kinds of different code. You can change the name. You can call it My First Notebook. We can import a couple of things. So pandas are things packages that we might want to use include GeoPandas. We might use a thing called Rasterio. We might import NumPy, and in this case we often use a little alias called NP, so we don't have to type NumPy all the time. I used a hotkey here, which was Shift-Enter, to run that code block and advance to the next one. But you can also run these things by hitting Run the Cell right there. And then you can do all kinds of things here. We're going to print Hello World, and again you can run these right there, and you're going to see it print out here. So if everything has gone to form, you should be able to import these packages. You should be able to execute some code blocks here. You can save these, and when you when you look, you're going to see that now my first notebook is there. And if you want to use, if you want to export these out for sort of submission, you can do things like download as, PDF as HTML. That's going to render this as a PDF. We're going to save this into that analysis folder, save it as my first notebook.pdf, and if you open this, you're going to get a little rendering of that as well. There's a quick walkthrough on setting up the environment and making sure that it works. Thanks for watching.